elder in New Zealand, Waitaha. There's a Waitaha people, they're older than the Maori tribes. And this Waitaha tribe elder, he still is alive, and he comes to Japan quite often because they are dragon people. They are dragon keepers, and they can see dragons, they can talk to dragons, they have dragon tattoo, and this elder say these Waitaha people are silver dragon people, and the Japanese emperor family are gold dragon people. So we are, brothers and sisters, and he comes to Japan very often to take care of the dragon people.
Okay, Mariko. So as I tuned in, first looking at your soul colors, first of all, your auric field, that thing that changes depending on our moods, seems to be coming through today as light green and pink. So very much heart-centered experience. I presume you feel like you are living from the heart and you are pondering the importance of that. So it's very much all around you, this beautiful light green and pink. And it is then your higher self is coming through as light blue, but also light purple. It's like it's very, very beautiful soul colors, soul combination. And then on a source level, it's gold, golden sparks, white and gold. So on a higher self level, like your soul essence and the essence that is with you from many incarnations, not just on Earth, but elsewhere as well. For me, always light blue, and as well as I'm tapping into, it's very much about divine peace, harmony, balance, compassion, truth, communication, supporting those who are vulnerable, very much that. And then the light purple is about connecting to highest possible wisdom of divine creator and bringing it to those that cannot yet access that. So that has been always your purpose, your dedication to serving this universe, supporting the evolution of less advanced species. So that has always been your drive, and I feel that very strongly with you. Now, when I wanted to know about do these colors resonate with you? Does that feel right?
Oh, yes.
I'm glad.
Good to hear.
So it's a nice validation for you. I'm delighted. Now, about your soul's beginnings. First of all, I have to say that most of your soul existence is non-physical. You are like a light being that is 7D and higher. It feels like angelic realm. It feels like, very high level consciousness and just like pure light and very connected to source, to all that is, very aware of, universal feelings and not feelings, frequencies, very connected to all that is, very much part of creator. And it's from there you're being sent to different missions to assist lower density, whether planets or civilizations. Okay.
So that's my soul, did you say?
Yes, this is on a soul level, on your higher self. So if you look at your soul history, most of your existence, to me, in your soul records, is showing as this non-physical, just light spark that is very much united with source. So I feel also in this life, it is like an imprint on you where you feel natural whenever you're connecting to all that is, feel you are the type of person that is more at home being kind of expanded consciousness and feeling nature, feeling the universe, feeling just everything at once, very like Pisces kind of energy. And you're still adjusting to being in the physical form and being grounded. But I feel in this life, because of some of your previous lifetimes, you are actually learning to bring that into the physical and actually start for the first time, I think, in your incarnation on Earth, starting to embrace the physical as well as something that is part of all that is. You're no longer rejecting it as much as you would have maybe in previous incarnations. Do you feel you had that guidance already, that it's important to start loving the physical also, not just dreaming big?
This lifetime, I've never had any real problem of. I was quite comfortable from the beginning. I enjoyed everything I was doing, and I didn't have any problem. I always made friends very easily. I had no problem with school. I enjoyed everything.
Amazing. Yeah, and this is one of the messages that came from that in this life you are able to apply everything you've learned in previous lives on Earth. So it's yeah, as I said, you're getting used to being here already.
Okay.
Now, so when I wanted to know about your beginnings, where do you originate even in this universe? And you seem to have very strong connection to the Galactic Center. I'm not sure if you saw your astrological chart on one of my pages. You can put it in and see it. I'll send this to you.
Okay.
Your ascendant. Have you ever had astrology reading done? Are you understanding astrology a little bit or very little?
Just like the Chinese astrology,
Okay.
is often used in Japan and
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the Western astrology, your ascendant, the part of you that is your outer identity, how you connect with others, is conjunct very tightly to the galactic center. And also your south node, north node, like the path of your soul's journey across many incarnations, is opposite and conjunct the galactic center. It's a very important connection that plays a big role. It's like you are a portal for divine energy, for creative creator energy, for like life force energy. Like there's actually a lot of energy coming through you into the environment and into others. And I would say others pick it up. And there is like profound strength inside your soul as well. Have you felt that you are actually very...
Yeah. I always feel very strong, like, I have no fear. And it's almost like, strange that I don't
very
have
mighty.
any. Yeah.
I picked it up.
Yeah, I live in this mountain all by myself, and I don't. People say, "How can you live on your own in such a quiet place? It's so dark and quiet," and But I don't feel any fear. I feel like I'm protected. Like, I don't know. I
100%,
don't
yeah.
really. Yeah, I don't really see spirits or hear them directly. But I'm probably hearing and getting a lot of advice, and like it's my thought, because I don't really feel the division, like
Yes.
So it feels like I'm talking, but they're probably all ideas from other.
Very well put. Yes, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know who I'm talking to, or like who's talking to me or who's helping me, but I just know that I'm so protected, and I feel
100%.
very strong. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wonderful validation. So have you ever heard a story about are you aware? So you follow Elena Danan's work a little bit, so you're familiar with many different races. And I once came across a story that these reptilian Draco souls that are very inhumane, they can really harm another in a really horrible way, that they are actually, they came here from another universe, that they were expelled from another universe like garbage, very like billions of years ago. And that in this other universe, the force that expelled them were highly advanced beings of light that knew how to do that. They just attempted to do that. It was like they were so frustrated with the horrible stuff that these beings were doing there. They were just like, enough, you are going to be expelled from here and out with you. And that was done. That was actually, they didn't realize it's actually going to be possible. They were like tempted and they tried it and it worked. And I believe you are somehow connected to this other universe, and that you are one of these highly advanced beings, maybe not necessarily the exact group of people that actually did it, but you seem to have come from the other universe where Dracos came from, and you are here out of that pure desire of your being to just assist, to be of service, and as well kind of out of curiosity. There is a part of you being a traveler or adventurer, and very much with complete faith that you are always safe and protected. You've always had that, and you seem to have came through the galactic center of this galaxy, of this universe, and you since then you're here, and you're here to assist this universe to deal with the rubbish.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to do that though.
You are doing it already just by being you. So when you came to this universe, in your non-physical state, as this multidimensional being of light, you started connecting with the strategic points of beings from this universe, from this galaxy, who know, how things work in this neck of the woods. And so you started expanding your awareness. You continue to grow as a soul. And in particular, I don't see you incarnating in many physical worlds as much as usually only there where there was potential for shifting consciousness into higher density. Like what you're bringing with you is a knowing from your universe that the way out is by ascending into higher frequency. So you become no longer a target for these dark, Draco reptilian beings. So you keep connecting with places where this knowledge is ready to be received, so you can make the most impact. And you are still a intergalactic traveler and universal, multiversal traveler, because there is not only Galactic Center as your, portal way of going back and forth, but also Lyra Nebula is in your chart as opposing your Venus and Mars. And when I checked, I believe you did go through it and visited other places. And you also have the Orion Nebula opposing in your ascendant. So it's like you seem to be connected to these major portal ways where you can go elsewhere. But on Earth, when you came to Earth, I believe within this last 1,000 years, and you had maybe 6-7 lives on Earth, and most of your previous lives on Earth where you reached a position of some teacher of higher consciousness, or you were completely giving yourself away in service to others, literally like like nuns would do, or just a person that would feel self-sustained completely. So all there is for you to help those that need it, people who are sick or poor or whatever. You completely sacrifice your life to needs of others. In one past life that I was shown, there was another life, and actually the one before this life, I feel in North America, and you were very busy, and I feel you are kind of resting in this life, because the life just before this, you were so involved with literally revolution, and you were, rebelling against the deep state. I feel in around New York, Washington area. So it was a very busy, very intense life, and you were shot, I think. In around you didn't even reach 40, you were like late 30s as a female, very passionate activist, and you were taken out. And then your next life was this life, which is taking a break because you had very intense previous lives, as I said, completely giving yourself away. So this time, when humanity is actually ascending, you seem to just be like really an anchor for this galactic center energies coming through you, and just holding high consciousness within the physicality. And that is how you serve. It's actually a very powerful imprint on the human collective. And actually it's about DNA within your own body that is accessing universal peace, universal harmony, absolute faith, safety, all these things. So I just love your soul story.
Wow. Yeah, thank you. I am really happy to hear that.
I hope it resonates. There is another important galactic connection. There is a, North Star. I'm not sure if you ever stared at the North Star on the night sky. It's called Polaris. You have that also conjunct and opposite your ascendant, North Node, South Node. Like, it's very important. I feel that's like your true north, and that's where the guidance of your soul is coming through, because I see you as stationed there, like your seventh dimensional, that universal aspect of you that is actually eternal. And you see, you're like an eternal solar being that is, able to navigate and travel this multiverse. But in order for you to assist Earth at this time, you were made aware that this is a very important, crucial nexus point for this galaxy, not just for Earth and solar system. So your attention was naturally drawn here, and you settled in Polaris, or you kind of anchored your highest self in Polaris, the North Star, which is a very crucial point for Earth. And here you are merging with a collective of other civilizations as well that are 7D and higher. And it's like you're streaming this energies to Earth and to this incarnation for your human avatar as well, but you're connected there. It's like a link. So you would, for this lifetime, I feel you have very strong navigation, or like, what's right, what is important, what is real, what is not, have a discernment, all these things. Because you have kind of learned the contrast to some of it in previous lives, but now you're balancing the polarity of student teacher and also me versus others. So in this life, you have much healthier boundaries than before. Before, you had literally kind of martyr savior or victim savior. You've explored that a lot. You learn that you cannot save someone who is not ready to be saved or not willing to be saved. In some previous lives, you did invest so much energy in others, but you notice that some of them, they just keep taking, and they're actually not taking responsibility for themselves. So in this life, for the first time, actually, you're in a healthy way detaching from needing to change humanity. And this is actually, that's the transcendence and transformation that you came here to experience. And in a way, it's a ripple effect for also the experience of, or the karma dharma of the other universe that did that, because there was a level of consciousness of these light beings that felt like, oh my God, what have we done to the other universe? And it's like not really guilt, because they are highly advanced beings, but still there is a sense of, now we have to help this universe to deal with this, because we did this, So now it feels like the way you are living, the way you perceive life, it's an important point for your collective, your soul group, where you start fully realizing that there is divine plan, grand plan, even in the story that happened, that this dark force is really pushing this universe to evolve into its greatest potential. It's like really pushing us to be our best. Otherwise, the evolution would be maybe much slower, because we wouldn't have the other force, the predators, reaching our high potential. So it's all good. And it feels like finally your light collective is understanding that and actually embracing that as a big adventure. And it's all good, because we are eternals. Does that resonate?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Everything resonates with me. Yeah. I'm teaching the ancient Hawaiian wisdom 20 years. And I recently went to Peru and Chile to study with the Inca shaman. So I'm translating my teacher's book. And once that book is out, I am also, already doing some shamanic, like fire ceremonies and things like that. So to help people. So that's what I do right now.
It's so interesting. I had shivers, as you mentioned, the South America, because when I asked what was your first life on Earth, where did you enter, what continent did you live on, and they very clearly said South America, and that you were teacher of the higher wisdom in that culture, which a long time ago I watched a movie, Celestine Prophecy. There were like scrolls, and you seem to have taught that in your first incarnation on Earth. Isn't that amazing that you are coming back full circle now?
Right. Yeah, I actually did a DNA test and from the roots where you come from. And it did tell me, I thought it was all my past life memories, but it actually said that I might have come from Inca, all the way from Inca. I was a traveler, adventurer. So went through the sea, ocean, and lived in Hawaii, so all these things that I'm connected to was really in my DNA.
I think many times I've came across that it's both, that as a soul, if it's important to have a continuation of evolution of certain bloodline, the soul is the ancestors, and then it incarnates back within that same lineage. It's just, I have so many shivers when I think of that spectacular divine orchestration. So it seems you absolutely have that. It's not only, it's both your DNA memories, your physicality, but also your soul records, because I was looking at the soul records, not at the biology, where they said you started in South America as a teacher of higher wisdom. So that's amazing. There was also a time when you were put to jail and you died there because of your teachings, so you were kind of in opposition to those that wanted to control and keep the consciousness low. So you suffered that fate too. And then the second life when you were also shot, the life just before this one. But it's wonderful to see that you have transcended that and that you feel safe in this life, because the time we live in, it's the time for light to be present. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I have like two, what I felt like, I have these two men in my life that I felt like I had to have a physical body to become their spirit guide. And but I've known them for over 20 years and I'm trying to help them, but they're not really changing. So I just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna let it go, just like you said, that people have timings and
yes.
Yeah, so I'm just learning to let it go now. Like I don't have to do anything. If they need help, I'm here, I'm available as a friend, and that's all they need. And I can't really push anybody to,
Exactly.
to change.
What I'm receiving when we are connecting with these two souls is that this is a past life continuation story, where you, till last day, till last breath, you were helping them, but they were not, you didn't teach them self-responsibility for their own life. But now so it's like in this lifetime, you have to affirm the realization of what you learned in that previous life. So it's 20 years of continuing that, but now, be guilt-free, because now what you're giving them is the gift of encouraging them, self-responsibility and connecting to inner resources that may be there. And astrologically as well, it is your Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn would be our greatest teacher, and it really shows us some of the patterns of the previous incarnation. Saturn in Pisces means that you had those kinds of lives of complete dedication and devotion to others. And in this life, Saturn is teaching you to have healthy boundaries, and to then you have part of fortune in Leo, which is you are growing in your own self-confidence by encouraging others to shine and to be sovereign and to feel that they can access what they need from within rather than from outside. So it is part of your destiny and fate, and it's wonderful that you're receiving that guidance. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's calling for attention.
There's a wild cat outside. I've given him food, but sometimes he's just. I have 3 cats also inside the house, so he maybe wants to come and play with something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Is it okay if I continue, or would you like to
Sure.
attend?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so in terms of your service to humanity now and going forward, it's so wonderful to see that you are passionately engaging in projects that are very creative, because it is written that that's your destiny, and that you are like a connection, like a channel that is assisting others in kind of restoring balance, harmony within their lives by teaching, bringing the higher teaching through. So that's excellent. And it's really propelling evolution of human consciousness. And even your second house in Aquarius can validate that you will earn money or your security as well by bringing evolutionary ideas or helping humanity to evolve. And it can be through electronic devices where they can access that as a book, or through courses or whatever way you can do it. But it's definitely about communication that is elevating others higher. And your 6th house is in Gemini, so it's about teaching. There is one little pattern from your past lives and here on Earth. What you're balancing is the Sagittarius Gemini. So because your North Node now is in Gemini, they want you to know this, that in some of your past lives on Earth, you established a position of a teacher, and you were used to having answers to others' problems. It was just natural. You're very intuitive. You were receiving that wisdom easily, kind of like just like you are now. But in this life, they want you to remember to also take time to listen to the other person. And it's wonderful that you're kind of naturally doing that already. Taking time to listen to the other person, to see actually where they're at. What are their values? What are their motivations? And after listening, then the higher inspiration comes through. What they wanted to avoid, maybe you did that in earlier years, where you didn't take time to listen and you already thought you have the answer. So you just, they just told you very little, but they didn't actually go into depth of their experience, and you already felt like, yeah, this is what you need, but actually there was something more there. But I would say by this time of your life, you're past that. Does that, do you recognize that maybe in your literally teenage years and early 20s, would you have been more prone to like be first to speak and sharing guidance or wisdom?
But I wasn't really teaching in my 20s. I was still kind of in kind of a little bit lost, or more into the materialistic world. So I started to, kind of all those materialistic world kind of crumbled down when I was 34. And that's when I went to Hawaii to study the Hawaiian wisdom. And then after that, my life changed. But in the beginning, I still had the ego, and, when people were not doing things and, what I thought they could be doing, sometimes I got frustrated and didn't.
Yeah, the preacher that wanted to push and that was frustrated if things weren't that way. That was an aspect of one of your past life.
Since in my 30s, I think. And right. now I think I'm doing better. And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
With regards to the material, there is also a little bit of karma from past lives that you're clearing here. There was one past life where you were very spiritual and you were rejecting material completely and almost in a judgmental way, where you thought that whoever was, embracing the material and money and financial security, you were judging it as not good enough. And so in this life, you were meant to be exposed to material consciousness, attachment, and ego, and actually maybe first like really needed it almost, but eventually where you're heading, I feel it's important that you know that now that your identity is with your higher self, with higher universal wisdom, with connected to all that is, but you also learn to embrace the material gifts of nature and enjoyment of good food and all the beautiful things, but it's safe if you're not attached to it. When it's taken away, your identity is still at peace. Once you are in that position, you're welcome to really allow this world to bless you with all the good things, all the luxuries of life, because they're fine. The problem is when we get attached to them,
right,
and stressing out about them. So do you feel you are there at a good balance between material and spiritual?
Yes, I enjoy them, but if they're not there, I'm fine also.
Good. That's your Saturn in second house, which is house of personal values and possessions, and balancing that. So great. You're doing great.
Glad to hear.
So was there any particular star systems that you felt connected to, or do you actually are one of these people where you can connect to all of them? You don't have necessarily a preference for any of them. You feel more like that?
I do always, when I look up the sky, I always find Pleiades. So I feel like, I'm really connected and probably lived there in my past life. And when was that? Oh yeah, just before this Corona thing, COVID thing started, just that December, 2019, December, when I came back here to this mountain where I can see many stars. When I just came out, it was late at night, and I looked up, and I actually saw the Pleiades, like really shining, like one star was shining like really strong. It was like giving me signals or something. Like I felt like they were saying, it's gonna start, and so sometimes I feel that kind of connection with Pleiades. And I do also feel like I came from Orion, because this word Orion, hi, is cute.
There you go.
So Pleiades and Orion, and I also the Lyra. I think Elena Danan had a one show talking about Lyra, and when she was explaining to us about it, I felt like, wow, that's me. I feel like I come from there, and I have this I have a blog and a YouTube channel. I translate actually stuff like from Elena Danan and James Gilliland and all these things, Michael Sala. So I use my logo as a lion face. I feel connected to that feline, strong, like powerful yet graceful kind of species. So the lions, felt like it was me. I also feel like I came from the sun. The Inca shaman told me that they come from the sun, and I also come from the sun, and I also always felt like I came from the sun. So I was, but then I realized there was the sun in the Galactic Center, right?
Yes.
So I'm wondering if which sun I come from.
Yeah.
That was one of
So
the
yeah,
questions.
thank you so much for sharing all that. The way I felt you, and I mentioned that earlier, that you are a solar being, sun-like being, and that you come from another place through the Galactic Center here. So yeah, I believe you come. The feeling, your origin is so ancient and so mighty that you feel like you are sun star, and you are, that's really your most natural identity. Like that's where your source energy is coming from and through. In terms of Lyra, Pleiades, and Orion, when I checked on all these, Lyra, yes, what I was shown is that you actually went back in time to visit Lyra before it was attacked. You lived among these people before the wars happened, but I was shown like you went back in time. Everything already happened, but you then went back to experience that culture and to really tune into their natural frequency that was still, trauma free before the polarities of the darkness and light started fighting. So that would be a very fond memory. And I really felt it like that in your records as well, where you really connected, you became enchanted by their world and by being there. Because from the other universe, I'm really not sure. It would take me a long time to tap into that. I've never did that, to what that might have been like, were there humanoid species before. What is coming through now, I'm just going to double check that if it's a yes, if I'm receiving it correctly. Would you be one of these creator beings that actually came to seed Lyra? No. But have you somehow connected to them, or do you know them? That's why it's coming through. Yeah. So you seem to have a level of consciousness that can comprehend the level of consciousness of the seeders of humanity in Lyra. You're really highly advanced soul. So I'm talking about that non-physical light aspect of you that is 7D and higher. So when you connected, when you went back to Lyra, perhaps you also went to the moment where you were shown the plan of the seeders, of why they did that, how they did, like you have like really deep connection to that, to the beginnings of Lyra. Does that resonate?
I don't know. I don't know
the original
those details.
The original design.
Yeah.
That just came through. And in terms of Pleiades, when I ask about that, and Orion, that again, you visited there and connected there, but I'm not seeing you as being born into their bodies from like birth and on. It seems that you can become their shape to be in their world. You are that kind of being where you can materialize yourself. You can shape shift, is what I'm getting. So when you went to Lyra, it was the same thing. It's not like you're incarnating there to be on your own soul's journey. To connect with the world, you just become, you choose an identity, and you materialize in their form. That's what I'm seeing for you in Lyra, in Pleiades, and in Orion. And it seems also like within your genetics, you have DNA of these races. So it speaks to you. And it's the light blue, your natural soul frequency, I feel, is light blue and light purple. So if you see that color, it's speaking to you, because there is such a strong resonance to that. So Lyran souls would have a lot of that light purple. Pleiadians would have a lot of the light blue. And the gold yellow light of your source, it's very much like the lion frequency, Lyra frequency. You really have that mighty strength that is also protective and just, so it's all in resonance that you're connecting with that. I don't think that you actually have like soul journey of many incarnations in Pleiades, many incarnations in Lyra, and I don't see it in your chart either, but it's more from connecting through resonance.
Yeah, because all these indigenous people, like especially the one I studied with the Hawaiians and also the Inca people, they also have ceremonies towards Pleiades. So these people, I think, originates from Pleiades. Maybe that's why I have that part.
It's an emotional bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there actually people living inside the sun in our solar system?
Oh, in our solar system. Bear with me. I'll just check on that. I never actually asked that question. Getting very strong, yes, and I call them solar beings.
Even
so I'll ask if you have if you have an experience of being in that solar light city with the solar beings. I'm getting a yes. I'm getting a yes.
Yeah, because all the indigenous people like Hawaii or Inca or even Japan, we have shamanism, and we our emperors, they say they originally come from the sun. So there's all these sun people seems to.
Yes.
I always felt like I came from the sun. So I was just wondering.
I believe so. I believe so, but I feel it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You connect with these high places because of your origin actually coming, because of being so highly advanced, being a solar being. So you can connect with these. I don't feel you stationary in a sun where, and it's just within the solar system. I see you connected to much more than that. It's just like a passageway, a portal, sort of sense of way of connecting or way of anchoring your soul within the solar system. So you dwell in the sun and you calibrate with that so that you can then actually make an impact when you are born on Earth. That's the purpose of it. I don't feel it's like your origin and station. It's more than that. You're more than that. You're really, really special. I'm really deeply honored to see this kind of story and this level of story. I've never had that before.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Excited to know that.
Can I ask you, how do you feel about the symbology of the dragon? And do you, from my experience, there is the 3D Draco, 4D Draco that are service to self, but I keep connecting to 6, 7D and higher dragon concepts, mythical creatures, like a higher dimensional, multidimensional protector of circle of life, and you seem to have connection to that energy too.
Yeah. I always also felt like I was a dragon, and because in Japan, dragons are like God, divine beings, and they are protectors. We have the land dragon, the fire dragon, the water dragon, all these kind of dragons that are doing all kinds of things, good things, so we don't see them as any kind of a negative being.
I agree.
I am born in the year of dragon.
Yes, and even in Western even I have goosebumps so many times as you're saying that word. Your ascendant is conjunct Etamin star within Dragon constellation. It's the second brightest star, Etamin. So it's very significant, and you when you say you are a dragon or you have that connection, it's 100% there. I'm sure of it. So I'm so glad it resonates with you. So it's like but again, it's this very powerful, mighty energy of this mythical concept. It definitely is a keyword, is an activation word. You carry that frequency within your being. I feel more so that than the lion, even though you are connecting with it. I feel more so dragon for you than the lion. But it's, you know, your heart can discern whether it's one or the other.
It's kind of a similar energy, although the dragon is more mystical.
Yeah, I feel you chose the lion unconsciously because it's in resonance with humanity that you're impacting on today. It's their keyword, it's their connection, it's their beginnings. That's why you chose it. It's a strategic unconsciously because that's, you know, you're here for them. You're not here to show yourself. It's here to calibrate to whatever is most beneficial for evolution of humanity. But in heart, there's a mighty, mighty dragon that's as big as galaxy.
Wow. You said it's a code for me?
Yeah, it's like an activation word. So it means when you're hearing that word, it moves something in you. It's activating that knowing in you. That's what keywords are like for me. For me, keyword is if you've never heard that keyword before, yet it is your connection. Let's say you are 30 years old, you never heard the word dragon before, but at the age of 30, you will read a text that has a lot of dragon in it. You will be different. Something will change, and you will not know what it is. You cannot put your finger on it, but something was awakened. You know, that's the keyword role.
Right. I also had, I feel connected to Egypt. Some people told me, one of my friends actually told me I used to be Sekhmet, the cat, you know, goddess of the daughter of La. And I did go to Egypt with Carrie Cassidy. Do you know her?
Yeah.
I went to a tour with her, and we went, you know, to all these places, and we were able to meditate and everything, and we were there for like a week. And when I came back, I felt so strong, like I was in a pillar, light pillar. You know, I felt like a light pillar was around me for like 2 weeks. I just felt like so powerful, you know, and that I have, one of my friends told me that I have a very strong connection with Egypt, that I get charged, my energy gets charged. And the reason why I decided to go to Egypt was because one day when I was I have this ancestral, my altar for my ancestors that I always say gratitude in the morning. And then when I was doing that, the Ankh, you know, that Ankh shape, all of a sudden came to me, that image, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, what is this? And I realized it was Ankh. And then when I started to go to Peru and I did ayahuasca ceremonies, and every time I do it, I see these Egyptian things, you know, so I knew I had to go to Egypt. So then I looked up and then I found Carrie Cassidy's.
Thank you for sharing. Can I ask you, when you did your ancestry DNA, did you find Egyptian circulated there at all?
No.
South Africa? No. And any of the pool of DNA, could it be Egyptians that moved and relocated as well? That, you know,
yeah.
where's your eldest? Where is your really the origin? As you've mentioned, South America. Is there any other? Is there another leg?
Well, it's kind of, it just said I was like the oldest group who came into Japan. And these group were adventurer, and they really traveled the Pacific Ocean. So my DNA is like 25% same as Hawaiian, and 25% same as American Indian. But it's possible that it came all the way from Inca. And that's what it said basically. But I know that there's a elder in in New Zealand, Waitaha, there's a Waitaha people, they're older than the Maori tribes. And this Waitaha tribe elder, he still is alive, and he comes to Japan quite often because they are dragon people. They are dragon keepers, and they can see dragons, they can talk to dragons, they have dragon tattoo, and this elder say these Waitaha people are silver dragon people, and the Japanese emperor family are gold dragon people. So we are, brothers and sisters, and he comes to Japan very often to take care of the dragon people, because basically he thinks all Japanese people are dragon people. And I have met him a couple of times, and I actually did some translation with his lecture and stuff. And he said that the New Zealand Waitaha people originally came from Egypt. And, because in Hawaii, the sun is called La. And it's the same word as the Egyptian La, the sun. So it's possible that the Egyptian came, because of the Mu time or Lemuria time. I think maybe the Egyptian people, or it's connected.
Yes.
And they were in this continent of Mu. Possibly. So I think, the Egyptian DNA is in the, Hawaiian or New Zealand or Japanese, whoever, when the Mu sank, some people got away to the Pacific Rim, which is Japan, New Zealand, and, the South America or the Alaska, those, it's all these indigenous people that are called the Indians these days. I think they might have the same, DNA that comes also from Egypt.
Thank you so much for explaining. That's just fascinating information. And I'll just share what I feel. And I believe it's not that it is true biology, that these are your deep ancestors. I don't see you as being like incarnating in Egypt as your soul journey, as your soul experience. I really feel it more like your deep ancestors talking to you. And also the fact that your Neptune, which is the planet of higher intuition, higher guidance, and your Pluto are trine and sextile Sirius A, Sirius and Vega, that are connected to Egyptian history. And so I feel, because you are who you are on a soul level, you are able to tap to these archetypal energies, because that's just your level. Your level is really high level. So you are whatever can, and these beings and archetypal energies, consciousness that is imprinted in earthly matrix will recognize your level as well. So it will want to come through you and to be present on earth at this time. I feel it's more like that rather than you actually living there and being second. I asked, and I said I got no, but it's within your deep ancestry.
Okay.
More so.
Right. Okay.
And when you went there to Egypt, when you were talking about that, what I was receiving is that it's the pyramids and it's the structure and the matrix that is there that activated you. It's not because you lived there in past life.
It's just energetic.
Deep resonance,
high.
Yes.
High
and what they're saying now is that the reason why you were guided there and what it was important for you to go there was to activate more of your human body biology and higher DNA, so that more of your soul frequency can be embodied. It's like they needed to amplify your physical frequency for more of your higher self frequency to be compatible.
Right. So is it good for me to go there again and again?
Absolutely. Let me just see. Is it necessary for you to go there? Is it necessary? I'm asking first. They say no at this point. Is it beneficial for you to go there if you choose to? If you choose so, yes. Will we check the percentage of how beneficial, if it's worth it or not? If 100% is like life-changing experience beneficial, and 0 is no, you will feel no difference, what's the percentage of you going to Egypt again? It would be around 65% beneficial, which is worth the while, I think. And they're immediately saying, choose to go there on a specific alignments, planetary alignments, solar alignments, go there on a specific date. So I'm asking, what would be the best conjunction of sun at the time that would be most beneficial for you? Which star system should be conjuncting sun when you go? They're saying Pleiades, is that correct? Yeah. Yes. Around that time, in around those days when Pleiades is conjunct Sun, which is May 20th, in around May 20th.
This year?
Yeah, and any year. And around May 20th, Pleiades is conjunct Sun in the Northern Hemisphere, or also in Egypt. It can also be, it will still be very strong during 19th, 18th of May, 21st, 22nd. So at that time also, the Galactic Center will be conjunct with Earth at nighttime. So during daytime, you'll have Pleiades activating you, and at nighttime, the Galactic Center, the part that is really most significant for your personality and for your mission on Earth. So that's excellent.
Yeah, I was, when all these COVID thing is over, I was thinking to even do a tour, a spiritual tour to bring Japanese people, because I felt like it was so strong.
Goosebumps. So that would make sense if you choose that, because I heard that many times too, that Japanese are strongly connected to Pleiades. So for you to take them there to Egypt during Pleiadian alignment, yes.
Okay, great.
Awesome. How exciting.
Yeah, it's good for me, and then I can also help others
yes.
at the same time, so it will be good.
So they're coming through with the message now for you to pay a little more attention to where others are at. When you take them on a tour, take time to listen to their stories, because there will be many gems shared, and it's something about their experiences that they will share as important or relevant to share. It'll do something within you as well. It's like you're mutually transforming in these conversations. So they say tune into the others as well, because there's some magic in it. And then whatever comes through will be even more charged.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, so wonderful. I'm so blessed. What we have on Earth now is just epic. It's biblical proportions, as they say. The orchestration and the involvement of highly advanced beings and this incredible consciousness that is so loving. It's here. We are here. We are it. It's we are so blessed. So much to look forward to.
Yes. And I'm also kind of like optimistic about the future of Earth.
Same here.
And although I feel like I have to help people, at the same time, I don't feel like I need to be too stressed about it.
They say, that one of the messages even before we connected was, you're meant to give for the joy of giving, share for the joy of sharing, not with stress and pressure. Yeah. Excellent. So you're receiving that. Hello, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it, and at the same time, and I'm not stressing out too much, and I think it's at the end it's all going to be okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So is there anything else that I should be working on more personally, or is there any advice that they can give me?
The main message is supporting evolution of humanity in a way that feels joyful and exciting and adventurous for you.
Mm-hmm.
And embody healthy balance between I and the other. Healthy boundaries, always reflecting also on your body's needs. Allow to have time for yourself guilt-free. You know, the self-imposed pressure of I should do more, release that. Because everyone is carrying the load together of this mission of ascension. And give yourself permission to connect with others deeply, really through deep conversations about these higher truths. And continue as you are. You have this wonderful connection and guidance. The voice you hear as your voice is your higher self. So all you need is within you. Just keep going and have fun and look forward to many blessings. It's all about embodying new earth.
Right.
Here now, you know, and it's through feeling connected, feeling safe, feeling joyful, expecting great things, connecting, acting on the impulses. That's new earth. So
right. So I'm doing okay. Yeah?
Yes, more than that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm always teaching, and I don't have any, advisors, usually. So sometimes it's really nice to, talk to people like you to confirm that I'm doing things right, or, if I'm on the right path, doing the right things, or, and also so nice to hear that I come from a higher place, and it just really makes me really happy. And
you're always connected to that. Yeah, this is just a little adventure, and you're doing the best you can. I know exactly what you mean by that as well. For me, once a year, I like to connect with someone else to reflect to me and validate what I know. It's just it's needed time to time.
Yeah, I was so excited to know about you through Elena's channel, and I was like, wow, cosmology is like amazing. That sounds very exciting. So it must be so much work for you. So,
it is, but it's passion, you know. My biggest problem is lack of time. If I didn't have to sleep, if I didn't have to eat, I would just be buried in this, and there's just so much exciting information coming through.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Much love.